What if you're doing everything right to grow your online brand? You're doing the content, implementing the strategies, showing up as your best, yet quietly, underneath, unknowingly, you don't really believe it's gonna work. I'm doing everything. I'm really trying. I don't understand why it's not working. Right there inside of that question, this is what I want to discuss with you. Because you can be taking all the actions, but if the identity of the woman that's taking the actions doesn't fully believe that she is creating, she is accomplishing, that she is that woman, then the actions are not going to have the same results. Stay with me here, because by the end of this video, I'm going to help you recognize if you're unknowingly doubting if it's really going to work and how that's really going to be affecting the results and the way that you're showing up. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you an exercise that's most definitely going to close the gap between the woman who is implementing the strategies and unknowingly doubting, and the woman who is living in and taking action from the identity, knowing that it's going to work. Welcome, my name is Melissa Claire, and you're watching Magnetic Woman. Just imagine if you're driving a car and you think you need to change the car, or you keep changing the map, or maybe you think there's something wrong with the way that you drive. And then you start doubting if you should even go the way that you decided. So then you're not really sure where to go. Where do you think you're really gonna show up? Now imagine that same trip in your car and you're very sure of where you wanna go. You're sure that you're going to arrive. You drive with confidence. You're clear on your vision, and you take the right streets and all the right actions to get you where you want to go. You see, there's two different things going on, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Action is what you're doing, but identity is what you're expecting while you're doing it. And this is so essential. I mean, I'm sure you've all had that morning where you wake up and you're in a bad mood and you're sure that you're gonna have a bad day, and all of that identity of the bad day person shows up throughout the day. And then you wake up and you're feeling great. You're implementing, you're believing, and it seems like the most amazing things happen. This isn't just woo, because the identity from which you're creating your actions is most definitely going to be changing the results. The other day I was watching a YouTube video, and it actually had Bashar. And he was talking to this woman, and she didn't understand why she wasn't having the same success that she used to. She was saying that she used to be really successful, but now she's not as successful. As she told her story, she realized that when she was successful, it created a lot of anxiety for her, and that she couldn't sleep well. And she was doubting if she could actually fulfill all of the orders. And all of that created anxiety inside of her. So she started to lose clients unknowingly. Then she kept saying she was trying to get her business going, but it just wasn't working the same. And then he kept going back to that statement, trying. You see, there's a big difference between trying and being. You know, when you try something, but you're not really sure if it's working, but you're gonna try, you're gonna hope, you're gonna do your best, you're gonna do the thing, but all the while you're not really sure why. And if you're really sure you want it, and you're not really sure if it's gonna happen, imagine the difference. If you're not in the identity of the version of you who knows that you're gonna succeed, then what identity are you creating your content from? From what identity are you reaching out to a client? Now, let's say you're on Facebook and you want to reach out to someone, except before you reach out to them, you think, oh, I really don't want to bother them. And what if they don't like it? No, maybe I shouldn't, but I will because I'm supposed to. What kind of energy is going to show up in that? Are you really sure that you want what you're doing? Now, in my last video, I actually talked to you how you can build your online brand in 2026 and beyond. And in this video, I really want to help you to understand the identity of the version of you who will create the successful brand from 2026 and beyond, because they're both just as important. It's just as important, the exterior action, as the interior belief that you're creating that action from. Imagine if a champion didn't win a game. Do you think that they're going to quit, or they're just going to cry all night and never try again? I don't think so, because you see them in the next game because they believe they are that champion. What does your doubt sound like? Have you ever thought about that? You know those quiet moments when you're in your car or you're washing dishes or you're in the shower and you have those thoughts running in the background? Those are kind of like the background programs or the background windows on your computer. You don't realize you're not using them, but they're still there running. So you need to sometimes just stop, connect to your breath, and really take a moment what you're thinking. Like, what are you really thinking before you reach out to a client? What are you thinking when you put out a video and you only get a couple of views? Are you thinking, well, at least I tried? Are you thinking, so what? So what if it didn't get a bunch of views? I'm going to keep going because I believe in this. What if you don't get the conversions that you want? So what? I'm going to keep trying. I mean, I don't know, especially for myself, any time that I've had 100% success. Now, I have had moments in my life where it's like boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, I'm just getting this rainfall of success. And then there's times when there's a little bit of a drought. But in those moments where I'm not feeling like I'm getting the same success I want, there were two versions of me that was showing up. There was a version of me who wanted to hide because it felt more comfortable. And then there's a version of me who says, this is what I do. This is what I know. This is the experience that I want to share. This is the result that I want to create from the actions that I'm taking. And then when I create that action in that identity, it's like the next one just kind of falls in place. And before I know it, people are reaching out. Before I know it, I'm creating more content. Before I know it, everything's just aligning. Have you ever had that moment? Let me give you another example. Imagine you got a certification. You studied really hard to do something, or you worked in something in your industry and you know that you have a lot of experience doing it. Do you have to keep on convincing yourself that you got that certification? Or do you already know that you are that version of you? You know, like right now, my daughter, she just went into 8th grade, right? Like she doesn't have to remind herself every morning that she's now an 8th grader. Like she knows that she's an 8th grader. That's her new identity. So this is the other question that I want to ask you. From what identity are you implementing your strategy? From what identity are you waking up in the morning and making sure that you take action in your day? From what identity are you creating your goals? Creating your content? I mean, are you really believing? Because if you're not, that's totally normal and that's totally fine because we all do it. But right now, today, you have a choice. Just imagine for a moment, if you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and just imagine with me. Now imagine that you are going down a beautiful pathway, and all of a sudden, there's two different paths. You can either take one path that you know that you've taken before and you know where it goes. And every time you take that path, you think, why do I go here? I want to try something new. So now you see the other path. You take a deep breath and you know that it's something different. You've never been down that path, but you decide today you're going to take that other path. And this other path you're taking, you're going to leave all the doubt, the worry, the wondering, the what ifs, the I'm trying, the old stories. You're just going to leave them there at the fork in the road. So I just want you to imagine you're going to take off this backpack. And you're going to put that backpack down. And before you put it down, you open it up and you see there's all these blocks inside of it. There's different colors, and every block is literally a block that you've been carrying around unknowingly. That's not allowing you to go down the more simple path. Maybe it's a block of when you were 10 and you were bullied. Maybe there's a block of one time you failed and you decided that was something to do with you. Maybe there's another block that you reached out to someone and they didn't want to buy your offer. Maybe there's another block that you had a failed video and nobody watched it. There's a lot of different blocks in there. And as you're clearing out all these blocks, you look at all of them and you realize they all made this journey what it is. They're all memories. They're all stories. They're all experiences. It doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you tried. It means that you're living. It means that you're doing. It means that you're becoming. So you put all the blocks back inside the bag. And you close the bag and you say, thank you. You say, thank you so much for everything that's in this bag. But you know what? I'm going to leave you here just because I want to walk down that new path much more light, much more with ease. And you leave your backpack there. And you start to walk down this new path. And as you're walking, you see some big trees and you start to feel a little scared because it's getting a little dark and you're not sure what's around the corner. But you keep walking anyway. Because at the same time you're afraid, you're excited. Because you know that without the unknown, you're going to stay in the known, or you're going to stay in your past. And you've already been there, and you already decided. So you're deciding with each step moving forward that you're going to keep going. And every time you feel afraid, you take a deep breath in and you remember what you're creating, why you're creating it, who you are. And with every step, you feel lighter and lighter. And you realize, wow, I have so much experience. And you start thinking about all the other people that you can bring on this path with you. And before you know it, you have more people on the path with you. There's this new person next to you who's walking with you. And they're saying, hey, I want to follow you down this path. And before you know it, you have a flashlight. And it's getting a little bit darker. But you have the light. You have the courage. So you turn your light on and you're just a couple steps ahead of the person behind you. But they're following you. You're guiding them. And you feel very confident. You know what you have. You know what you can create. And the more you feel that, all of a sudden, all these other people start to go on the path with you. And you're feeling more excited. Before you know it, all of you are like in sync. And you're moving forward together. And you're creating this synergy and this excitement about moving forward to this new destination together. Then you all get there. And you realize that these people still have their backpack on. And then you turn around and you tell your story. And you talk about how you had doubts and how you weren't sure, but you put your backpack down and you encourage them to do the same. And as you're around everyone and you see all of them putting their backpack down and you see all these blocks coming out of these backpacks and everyone's starting to feel lighter, you realize that that was the most beautiful path that you've ever taken. And it was scary. You didn't know where you were going and you were leading people and things weren't sure, but you made it. And now that you got there and you have more people, well, now you're even sure of where you're going, of who you are, of why you're doing it. You're not trying, you're doing. You're walking ahead. Now, I want you to feel this in your heart. I want you to feel that excitement. I want you to remember a time when you were so excited about what you were learning, about what you were doing. I want you to remember a time when you know that you helped one of your clients' lives. When you did something in your business and you were just like, yes. When you're taking an action and it makes you feel good about who you are, despite your fears, despite the doubts that might want to hold you back. And now you've learned something really powerful. When you start to feel heavier and more down, you catch yourself. You catch yourself before you take the action. And you take that backpack off, you look at the block, you say, hey, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. I don't need you anymore. That's a past story, that's a past belief, and that doesn't really belong in the identity that I'm creating moving forward. And that's when you implement the strategy. That's when you make the call. That's when you make the video. When you are decided that this is what you do. This is who you are. And you know that maybe not everyone's going to like you. And that's okay, because you know why? Because you walk down a really beautiful path, and not everyone can go on it. And that's okay, because there's other paths for other people. But the path you're on, it's bringing in your tribe. It's bringing in your community. It's bringing in your clients. And the more you all walk together, that synergy, it's just bringing more and more and more. And the beautiful thing is, at the end of this path, you're going to be able to go out and look over the horizon and see how far you came. And that's your life. That's your legacy. You see, every day, every path, you get to make the choice. You get to make the choice to live in those past fears, holding those blocks and those old beliefs, or you have the choice to take off the backpack, get the courage to see what's inside there, work on letting them go and allowing them to transform into something else. I mean, what if those blocks, some of them that you left on that path, what if they're seeds? What if they're old seeds of past intentions? And unknowingly, everything that you did before, even though it wasn't perfect, even if you were doubting, even if some of them felt heavy, they were seeds. And they start to grow and they start to make beautiful flowers. And so the next time you're going down that path and you get to that fork, all of a sudden you see that those blocks, they turned into something miraculous. They turned into something incredible. Somebody else comes along and one of those blocks turned into a tree that has a beautiful fruit that someone can eat from. You see, maybe you create a piece of content and no one looks at it, but you planted that seed. It's in YouTube. It's in your Facebook. It's in your Instagram. That email is in someone's inbox. That call that you made is in someone's mind. That message you sent, it's already planted. And maybe you might have planted all these different seeds with some of those blocks, but you planted the seed. And unknowingly, all those seeds that you've been planting all this time, they're creating really beautiful things behind the scenes without you having to worry about them. Keep looking at them. They're growing with time, with energy, as you keep going forward down the path. I would love to invite you to go watch the video that I created before this, where I'm going to be going over with you how to create your authentic expert brand in 2026 and beyond. And if you want, you can go to the comment below and get your free expert brand playbook so that you become seen, known, and hired with much more ease. And I cannot wait to meet you. And of course, I would love to hear a comment from you. And if you like this analogy of going down the path, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Don't forget to get your free playbook. Remember, what you seek is seeking you. I'll see you in the next one.